drama, combat, terror, numbness, and subservience. Every day these things wipe out your sacred principles, whenever your mind entertains them uncritically or lets them slip in. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations 10.9. How much harder is it to do the right thing when you're surrounded by people with low standards? How much harder is it to be positive and empathetic inside the negativity bubble of television chatter? How much harder is it to focus on your own issues when you're distracted with other people's drama and conflict? We'll inevitably be exposed to these influences at some point, no matter how much we try to avoid them. But when we are, there is nothing that says we have to allow those influences to penetrate our minds. We have the ability to put our guard up and decide what we actually allow in. Uninvited guests might arrive at your home, but you don't have to ask them to stay for dinner. You don't have to let them into your mind. The quote from Marcus Aurelius encapsulates a timeless struggle, the challenge of maintaining one's principles in the face of external influences. His words, drama, combat, terror, numbness, and subservience. Every day these things wipe out your sacred principles, whenever your mind entertains them uncritically or lets them slip in. Resonate deeply with anyone who has felt the pressure of the outside world encroaching upon their inner sanctum of values and beliefs. These pressures are ubiquitous, appearing in our personal lives, workplaces, and the broader cultural environment. The battle to uphold our values becomes even more challenging when the world around us seems to be pushing in the opposite direction. ####The power of external influences. The external environment has a profound impact on our thoughts, behaviors, and decisions. Social psychologists have long studied the influence of societal norms and peer pressure on individual behavior. When surrounded by people with low standards, it becomes exponentially more difficult to uphold one's own. This phenomenon is evident in various aspects of life, from corporate culture to social circles. If the prevailing attitude is one of cutting corners, engaging in gossip, or disregarding ethical considerations, maintaining integrity requires a conscious and often exhausting effort. This challenge is amplified in the age of mass media and social networks, where we are bombarded with content that often prioritizes sensationalism over substance. Television chatter, social media feeds, and 24/7 news cycles create an environment where negativity, drama, and conflict are not just reported, but often celebrated. This constant exposure can create a negativity bubble, making it harder for individuals to stay positive and empathetic. The human brain is wired to notice and react to negative stimuli, an evolutionary trait that once helped us survive, but now makes us vulnerable to the constant stream of negativity in modern life. ###The importance of guarding the mind. In the face of such overwhelming external influences, Marcus Aurelius' advice to be vigilant about what we allow into our minds is crucial. The metaphor of uninvited guests arriving at your home, but not being asked to stay for dinner, is a powerful illustration of the boundaries we must set for ourselves. While we may not be able to control every influence we are exposed to, we do have control over how we respond to it. This is where the practice of mindfulness and critical thinking comes into play. Mindfulness teaches us to be aware of our thoughts and feelings without becoming attached to them. It allows us to observe the negative influences around us without letting them take root in our minds. For instance, when faced with gossip at work, instead of engaging or letting it affect our view of others, we can acknowledge it and choose to focus on more constructive conversations. Similarly, when the news cycle seems particularly grim, we can choose to limit our exposure or seek out positive stories to balance our perspective. Critical thinking, on the other hand, involves actively questioning and analyzing the information we receive. This is particularly important in an age of information overload, where not everything we hear or read is accurate or relevant. By critically assessing the content we consume, we can better filter out the noise and focus on what truly matters. This is not about shutting out the world or ignoring reality, but about being discerning in what we allow to shape our thoughts and actions. Maintaining inner integrity in a noisy world. Maintaining inner integrity requires more than just passively filtering out negative influences. It demands active cultivation of positive ones. In a world full of distractions and superficial values, it is essential to create spaces, both mental and physical, where our principles can thrive. This can take many forms, From surrounding ourselves with like-minded individuals who share our values to engaging in practices that reinforce our inner compass, such as meditation, journaling, or even reading philosophical texts like the Meditations of Marcus Aurelius. In professional settings, this might mean seeking out mentors who exemplify the standards we aspire to or creating a personal code of ethics to guide our decisions. In our personal lives, it could involve setting boundaries with people who consistently drain our energy or challenge our principles. By actively curating our environment, we create a buffer against the external forces that threaten to erode our values. ###The role of empathy and positivity. Amidst the challenges of maintaining personal integrity, it is easy to become cynical or detached. However, Marcus Aurelius' teachings also emphasize the importance of empathy and understanding. Recognizing that others are also struggling with their own battles can help us remain compassionate rather than judgmental. This perspective shift allows us to maintain positivity even when surrounded by negativity. Instead of being pulled into the vortex of drama and conflict, we can become beacons of calm and reason. Empathy also allows us to understand the root causes of the behaviors we encounter. For instance, someone who is perpetually negative may be struggling with issues that are not immediately visible. By approaching them with empathy rather than disdain, we can maintain our own positivity and potentially influence them in a constructive way. This does not mean we have to tolerate toxic behavior, but rather that we can choose our response in a way that aligns with our values. ###The balance of engagement and detachment. Marcus Aurelius' philosophy also highlights the importance of balancing engagement with detachment. While it is crucial to stay true to our principles and engage with the world around us, there is also wisdom in knowing when to step back. This is particularly relevant in the context of modern life, where the lines between personal and professional, public and private, are increasingly blurred. In a hyper-connected world, it is easy to feel overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information and opinions coming our way. Here, detachment does not mean indifference, but a conscious choice to focus on what truly matters. By detaching from the noise, we can better hear our inner voice and stay aligned with our principles. This might involve taking regular breaks from social media, practicing digital detoxes, or simply carving out time each day for reflection and solitude. ###The long-term benefits of upholding principles. While the immediate gratification of going along with the crowd can be tempting, the long-term benefits of upholding our principles far outweigh these short-term gains. Living in alignment with our values brings a sense of peace and fulfillment that cannot be achieved through external validation. It builds self-respect and trust in ourselves, which are foundational to a meaningful and purposeful life. Moreover, by consistently choosing to uphold our principles, we set a powerful example for others. This ripple effect can inspire those around us to raise their standards and contribute to creating a culture where integrity is valued. It may not always be easy, and there will undoubtedly be moments of doubt and difficulty, but the strength that comes from living authentically is incomparable. Conclusion: the Stoic path to resilience. Marcus Aurelius' teachings offer a Stoic framework for navigating the complexities of modern life. By guarding our minds against negative influences, cultivating positive environments, and balancing engagement with detachment, we can maintain our sacred principles even in challenging circumstances. The world will always be full of drama, conflict, and distractions, but by staying true to our values, we can rise above these challenges and lead lives of integrity and purpose. In the end, the Stoic path is not about avoiding the world, but engaging with it in a way that reflects our highest ideals. It is about finding the strength within ourselves to remain steadfast in the face of adversity and to act with wisdom, compassion, and courage, no matter what the world throws our way. This resilience, rooted in a deep understanding of our own values and principles, is the true essence of living a good life. Subscribe Stoic Doc for more of this kind of content.